Xavier and Expressions of Grace Bonsai, and finally getting near the mid to end of April, and I'm seeing a lot of leaf burst on the silver birch, which got decimated last year, and I'm going to do the work on it. It's not complicated, but now I've seen which buds have lit up, I can decide what to remove because I can see it. Obviously I'm going to clean up all around the base here, try and get rid of anything that may interfere with the roots or percolation or anything at all. I'm not going to do anything with the roots, not going to do any repots. In fact, I'm going to do very little with this year apart from feed it up and let it regrow. I'll come in closer, but we can definitely point out we've got some new growth here. This branch is dead. We lost this entire branch, nothing came from that, so that's going to be removed. We've got this one here which will grow from. We've got growth here. This is looking nice and healthy. Down here, that's healthy, but we've lost this branch here, but we've got another little bud just there. And on here, we've got dead there, we've got this here, so that's useful. All of this up here, all very healthy. And then right at the base here, one that I wasn't sure whether I'll keep or not. We can have a look at it, to be honest, and it may well get removed. And that brings us back here. In fact, that's where we started with. So if we go further up though, it's clear that the only thing we've actually got that's alive is this lovely thick branch here. This is gone, nothing there, and there's nothing at all. There's nothing at all up here. So I'm going to remove the offensive dead branches, and then let's start talking about what we can do with it. The sun's just come out. I can't believe it's been raining for the last 3 days. We're desperately trying to repot apples and all sorts of things. Anyway, let's get those things off, shall we? First thing we want to do is, this is alive. Absolutely nothing on this one is with us, so in stages, definitely dead. Nothing on that one, we'll come back further. See, still very dead. And there's actually a little collar there which I can bring it back to. And I will tidy that up at a later stage. Okay, so that's our new branch there, if we keep it. And I still think where it's coming from, at the moment I'm using it because I want it to heal everything, but I don't want to be removing branches anyway. But this is all dead. So we'll get rid of this. And if we were being realistic, if we were going to keep anything at all, we would only keep this one there. So I am going to get rid of the unwanted stuff. See what happens from that. Right, so that's that, and I have absolutely no intention of applying wire or doing anything that may risk it. So we've moved that one along, got a stub there, we'll get rid of that. Okay. Things like that, that's all knobbing hole. Right, let's look at this branch here. And there's actually, I didn't realise that, there's actually something there. So let's just double check there. Dead. See how much further back we go. Dead. Okay. There's also another bud up there, but one going there, I don't want that one there. So what happens with that. On this branch we've got little buds there, and as I said to you, I'm not going to risk anything on that. Coming up here, we've got dead there. Okay, so we're definitely dead there. This will probably have to be wired around, but I won't do that anywhere near this. It'll be sometime in June, July. Let's go lower down again, looking here. Everything's looking good there. Stub. Coming around here. That would need wiring. Far too far out. Okay. So let's move it further up now. This is the branch. I'm just going to double check we haven't got anything on it. definitely got, I don't know if you can see it there, there's definitely a collar in there, which will allow me to cut quite safely. Okay. That is going to be the new growth, so that's going to be new. So basically everything above here is new. Oh, give that a completely changes it. Part of me's now wondering whether the actual solution is to potentially even think about removing that. That's a very, very, there's no taper on. Although I still like that. So I think once this grows out, once that grows up, that will get removed. I think that will be removed anyway. If I was honest. The only reason I'm not removing that, truthfully, is I want as much flow of sap and everything going through there. I've got some healing still on those, but I'll watch that in the summer. Okay, definitely a very different looking tree right now, but lots of healthy growth on it, so I'm just going to let that go and spend a bit of time getting all this Scottish moss or whatever off the surface, and make sure there's absolutely nothing that's going to potentially affect the ability of this tree to gain nutrients into the roots. Okay, so got all the base cleaned out, all around there. It's very soggy, so I'm actually gonna. I had moss, I'd use moss, but I'm literally just gonna. It's not really top dressing it, to be honest. But I want to try and avoid this moss, to be honest. I want it to be a nice dryish surface. Certainly all around in the trunk itself. There were areas that were definitely getting a little bit wet and damp. The other reason for this is I took quite a lot of moss off the top of it, and I noticed there was quite a few surface fine little feeder roots. I don't want to destroy them necessarily. You know, ideally that's what you would use a top dressing of moss for, but this may potentially discourage any of our winged friends from having a look. Okay, so that's it, done for now. I'm just going to really let it go to town and... Oh. Of course, the one thing we do need is Dougie's balls on there. So, get his fertiliser on there. I certainly don't want this tree to go hungry. Who knows? Who knows where we're going with this? It just looks so different now. Where was the front? I can't remember now. Oh, the front was there, wasn't it? Then. Absolutely no idea. Anyway, that's that one. The second silver birch. Definitely you can see the white stain from the super glue. I'll rough that up a bit, but all those bits certainly didn't still there, they haven't rotted away, which is good. That was one of the things that they do say happens with it, so I can stain that, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, how do we get by with this? We've got a reasonable amount of budding growth coming out here. There's definitely some areas, but one on the end here. Ideally I'd like to see something lower down. So I've got a little bud there. What I'm going to do, dead. That's dead. Okay. Got these buds here and here, they're alright, but it's like we've got this very long expanse. It's basically what looks like dead. This branch looks like it died. Okay, we've got growth here, but nothing. We don't really want anything beyond that anyway. Stuff. Again with this one, potentially wiring it much later in the year. All I want is to see lots of growth. I want to see these all come out. Got lots of energy back in there. It's not the strongest in there. There's definitely a bit of movement. The nice thing about the birch is they'll quite often bud from the collars of where you've removed. So there's live there. We may well get lots of buds around there reacting to that. So we've definitely got the majority of this it's got through the winter okay. Winter really well. Definitely got some so this is what's happening. The bark will actually come away, which means we're going to get rotting underneath, which I don't want. And we get little wood lice living under there as well, which I don't want. So although it looks good, it wants to hide. Right, so I'm just going to get some of this muck off the bottom there, put some of Dougie's fertiliser balls on there. Tasks, say later on in the year I'm going to get some wood stain, darken off that, and probably once I've seen the full scope of budding in early June, may well look at wiring out, but you know, I quite like the spread of that. So that's the birches. Well, it's Xavier, and believe it or not, it's the 3rd of June. I've rescheduled this update on the Silver Birch rebuild 3 times over the last month. So the original footage was obviously back in, I don't even remember, maybe in April sometime when I did all the branch cutting. And then I did an update in early May and then middle May, and meanwhile, this has continued to develop. And I'll give you a close-up of it in a minute. But all of the branches, all of them showing great life, and I am really happy, certainly with the way that's developing. Something off here, so definitely options, and as you know, I'm definitely thinking about removing this one here. So what do I have to do now just to maintain and ensure that the energy is going in the right place? I'm certainly not going to do any major pruning. What I am going to be doing is looking down here, where we've got lots of these suckers growing. We'll get rid of those, and we'll probably just go around the tree and just have a look and just make sure it's like here. We've got 3 coming from the same point. I like the fact that they're all healing, but ideally I can look at those and pick one. So that's what we're going to do now. And looking down at the base, it is literally just a case with your roundy bonsai pliers, just to remove anything that we are certainly not going to want. This tree wants to live despite everything I've done to it, so we need to give that every opportunity. And to do that, I'll remove, there's a few weeds there I want to remove, anything that could compromise the health of this tree. That's what I'm looking at this stage. And I'll just go around and finish doing that. Okay, so giving it a spin round. I mean, Dougie's balls are still in good shape. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. And I've removed all the suckers, taken the weeds. We've got a little weed here. We definitely don't want feeding on those nutrients that need to go to this tree. So we've got rid of that. Been very good. Looking up the trunk, nothing growing here. Just looking a little higher on the tree. Happy we've got a lovely growth from here, which is what I really wanted. And there. Bearing in mind that's the branch I'm probably going to get rid of. This I'll have to nibble back a bit, but not today. Looking on here, happy we've got growth all over that. Higher up we've got growth, and very branches coming from here. So there's lots of stuff there, happy with all that. Hollow's looking good. Moving up this main line here, we've got lots of growth here. Lots and lots of growth here. And again, I'm looking just to see if there's any bugs or anything building, but really, really happy with that. All very, very healthy. Okay, here, this is going to be part of the back of the tree, I imagine. I do like this, but it's not going to be suitable. We've got 3 points coming from here. Now I could go for the strongest one. That's heading upwards, and actually I quite like something that's going to be coming directly out. Well, this one is going to be heading over the back of this, so I can definitely remove this one. That's just reduced it to 2. And it's actually on the edge of the healing area here. It's not going to create any great issues, but do I want that one going up? That's the question. So if we looked into the tree, would that be better going upwards or out the back? Horizontal, actually, the more I look at it now, it creates that 90-degree bend. So I think we're actually going to go for the upper one, which is the stronger growth. So happy with that, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay. A quick apology. I've got the whiteout screen and the sun's out, so things may fade into oblivion, which I'm sure some of you would be happy if I did that. So really now we're just looking at this main branch here. Looking very nice. We've got a couple of small ones coming off it, which I want to get rid of. Get rid of this little smally one there. Get rid of that. I'm thinking about that actually. If this is going to go to the new leader, this little one here, you technically see you're going to have 2 off there, so that's fine. We can actually leave this for now. It's not doing anything. So potentially, if I want the vigor all to be going up that way, I could cut back on these. So let's get rid of stuff already that I know I won't want, which is upwards, and bring it right back. So we'll bring it back there. Didn't know this is going to turn into a pruning adventure. That's okay. Looking back here, and I'm just literally cleaning out growth that I clearly don't want, reducing some leaves. This one shoot going out, we don't want that. Right, and I'm going to go around. I want to leave, oh, do I want to leave that actually? Because I'm going to be removing that. So what's it actually achieving right now? Nada. Okay. Because I haven't made a decision, I'll just leave it like that for now. There we go. Upward growth, all the way back. This one's going up. In fact, we've got the situation here where there's 2 on top of each other. I could wire, but I'm not going to. I've got an opportunity to do what I call a clean rebuild, so I'm going to. Although, don't know. Actually, I don't need to make that decision yet. And although I am very enthusiastic about the advantages of clip and grow, that's decisions I would make whether I'm wiring later in the year anyway. I'll just take some length off. Here we've got definitely a case here. I'm going to have 3 coming pretty well from the same point. I like having something higher up actually. Very difficult to see at the moment. Let's just take length off. Very hard. What do we do with that? I like that it's got some bud points early here. I could actually create a higher map. So let's do that. There's no buds here, which makes it a less desirable branch actually. Actually, I don't like it. Remember, I want the energy to go up top, so pull that right back, clear it out so that light can get in. This is interesting, but there's nothing further in on it. That would probably need to be wired. Up here, just bring it right back. Some stubs. That's quite a log-leggy piece. Let's just take the tips off. I want everything to go upwards, so let's reduce this a little bit. Okay, so it's all going where I want it. It's actually quite an important branch for me, this one here. So I'm quite happy for stuff to keep going on this one and to keep building. Okay, get rid of that upward one. Prune that back. Get rid of those. Well, we've got one branch basically on top of the other, but that could wire. Yeah, that could wire actually. Unless I've broken it. Feels a wee bit broken. We'll see what happens. It's a lot higher up the tree, so we're not looking at taking it much further out. There's an ideal opportunity here with this spur to have that. Take that off. Blunt, I've got to sharpen these. Okay. There we go. Well, no, I didn't expect to be doing that, but actually the more I looked at it, the more sense that made. So, all the energy going that way. Okay, well, like all my plans and intentions, they normally go out the window after the first knocking. And as I was talking about this, seeing how healthy it was, it didn't make any sense not doing that pruning that I've just done. So I've reduced everything in here so that we'll get some, promote some more back budding and try and get some foliage coming in closer in to create the ramification. Obviously, I'm still looking for that to grow on. And that's got to be the new leader, and that's got to be fair, that's really got to put on some girth. I'm thinking I need to leave that for at least 3 years, and probably I'll look at some wire later on in the year when it's a bit more thicker. But the only way that's going to get thicker is if I don't prune it. And I think that's the reason in the end that I did prune off that one. We'll see how it goes. But overall, for a tree that was definitely struggling after last year's heat, I'm very, very happy. It's obviously a different tree. It's got some major styling challenges. That clearly is one of them. That branch there, although I like the way that's developing. I mean, there is an option to take this one off. So, in fact, I'll leave that open to you. I won't be making any more pruning decisions until the latter half of the year. So, if I swing that round now, the front's going to be somewhere in there, potentially at the moment, because of that lovely base. This I've got to stay. I want this to keep the healing. I need that to keep this part alive. So, is it this branch? Or this branch? Or does someone see something entirely different? I mean, I'm growing this, but I mean, that was an option I discussed, although I don't like removing that because that's going to leave that almost a straight line, so that's not going to look right. But we'll keep this. So anyway, from Xavier, several months after he started the rebuild, very, very happy with the silver birch and how it's looking, and a lot more optimistic. Hopefully that's given a few of you a lot more hope for the future for trees where you lose significant amounts of branches. We can rebuild. Many societies have done it, although not all successfully. So from Xavier, in my bonsai retreat, I say thanks very much for taking the time to watch. Hope you've got something from this. God bless. Cheers.